Metaverse has completely taken the world by storm. Ever since Facebook made a massive bet on this space by rebranding their parent company Facebook to Meta, we've seen a ton of mainstream attention on this brand new industry, the Metaverse, that's powered by blockchain technology. And this has created a huge opportunity for developers to jump on this trend and create the next generation of Metaverse applications. But if you want to do that, then you need to understand how to code for the Metaverse, and that's exactly what I'm going to show you about in this video. So before we get into that, if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory. And on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn how to master blockchain step by step from start to finish, then head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. All right, so let's get into this. So what do you need to understand in order to code for the Metaverse? So first of all, let's just do a quick clarification on what the Metaverse is. I know lots of people sit around scratching their head trying to understand what it is in the first place. It's still really taking its final form. We don't exactly know yet, but let's talk about some certain characteristics that you need to understand. So really the Metaverse, a lot of people think about it as an embodied internet. Okay, so this is taking the internet from a 2D experience that you experience now online. Maybe you're watching this video on YouTube. Maybe you're looking at tweets on Twitter. That's a 2D experience. And the Metaverse takes this into a 3D experience, an embodied internet. Maybe that's with augmented reality, virtual reality, or just some sort of immersive 3D experience that you can see inside your browser like a video game. Okay. So, how does the Metaverse, why do we have the Metaverse now? Because, we've had AR technology, we've had VR technology, we had video games for a long time. Why didn't we create Metaverses back then? Well, it's because we have blockchains now. And that's another key aspect of Metaverse is the ability to actually own things on the internet, okay? Because the whole idea is when you create a Metaverse, you're not going to have something where basically one centralized company owns it. You could do that now playing World of Warcraft, right? You can go in there and play those games, earn assets out of the game. But Metaverse lets you take those assets out of the game and then maybe move them to a different virtual world. It's able to hop in between worlds where nobody controls any assets and you have full custody over them. To visualize this, if you want to create something for the Metaverse, I'm going to pull this on my whiteboard here. You can think about it in terms of really two layers. The experience layer, this would be anything you experience in virtual reality, maybe augmented reality or a 3D immersive experience in your browser. Okay. And also the value layer, blockchain, NFTs, crypto, where you put all those assets on an open public ledger. So I've done tons of videos on this YouTube channel about this particular value layer right here with blockchain, NFTs, crypto. Definitely go to my YouTube homepage, find those free courses there. You can see tons of content on how to create the blockchain, okay? But in this video, I'm specifically going to focus on this experience layer and how you can start creating, 3D immersive experiences and also some tips on how to do things like virtual reality and augmented reality so that you can, code a Metaverse. So we're going to use Three.js for this, okay? This is a JavaScript library that lets you create 3D experiences. Okay. You can also use it, to create, virtual reality experiences. Okay. There's going to be the two primary ways you experience Metaverse. You can also use, AR.js for augmented reality as well. Okay. We're going to focus on the 3D, 3D immersive experience in this video because that's the easiest way to get started. And so, we're just going to focus, like I was saying before, on the experience layer part of this. And me and my team have been working really hard on this. And so we're actually going to release a full, entire, course out here on YouTube on how to code an entire Metaverse thing from start to finish, smart contracts, cryptos, everything. All right. So definitely subscribe to this channel. And turn on notifications. You're fine about that whenever it's live. That video is not quite ready yet. All right. We want to make this video today to get it out and talk about this particular part of it. So let's dive in and talk about how to code a Metaverse with Three.js. All right. So let's get into coding this project. So what I'm going to show you how to do is actually, start understanding how you would create something a lot like this. So this is, Decentraland. This is a pretty popular Metaverse game application. All right. And, this is not necessarily virtual reality. This is a 3D experience that you would play like a video game. Okay. So I'm going to show you how you can start creating something like this, with Three.js. So what we're going to do is actually show you how the fundamentals of this, about how to start, creating a virtual world, just like the one you see right here. in this coding sample that we're going to, review today. And how you would go about doing this, creating different objects inside of here to be able to move around, interact, and customize this, create whatever kind of world that you want to. All right, so go ahead and click on the link down in the description below. You're going to get access to this repository here. All right, it's going to have the code for this video. So what you're going to do is just copy this. All right, go to your terminal. All right, you're going to go to, let's just open it up here. You're going to go to whatever folder you keep your code in, and you're going to do git clone. All right, and then paste in this URL here. All right, so I've already done it, so it's going to tell me that there's an error here. But whenever you do it, you should see that successfully cloned. All right, so once the code is on your computer, you're going to enter into this newly created directory just like this. You're going to cd React Three.js showcase. All right, click enter, and you're going to, that's going to put you in this newly downloaded directory or cloned directory from GitHub. Okay. And so inside of here, you definitely need some dependencies installed. You need Node.js installed on your computer. So you can see if you have Node already installed by going to your terminal, typing Node-V. I'm using 16.14.10 in this video. You should use that version if you want to ensure that this tutorial works. Another version will probably work, but this one for sure works. You can definitely download Node directly from the Node.js website if you want to, but you need that installed in order to create this application. So now what we're going to do is install the dependencies with npm, all right, which comes with Node.js. So do npm install. All right, I've already done this, so this is gonna, basically happen instantly. It might take you a couple seconds. All right, but the next thing you want to do is start your web server, because we're doing everything inside of in our browser here. So do npm run start. Okay, and so I've already done this step, and you can see it here. Here's my server that's running. And so that should open a new tab in your browser instantly like this. So I'm just going to refresh, and you should see this right here. Now, this is our basic virtual world built with Three.js. I'll show you how to customize this here in a minute, extend it, do a lot more than just a couple of shapes on the screen here. But how can you interact with it? Well, if you're on a Mac and PC, this might be a little bit different, but you can just left click and, look at this from a vertical orientation like this, or you can right click and drag, and you can actually change the perspective. So now you can experience this virtual world here with the sky in the background, with some stars. You got this textured plane, which we created from scratch. I'll show you how to do that. And these objects which we placed on there, you can zoom in and out, right? You can, move around. You can click on stuff and it changes colors. All right. This is all the fundamentals that you need to know or start creating your own virtual worlds. So let's dive into the code and see how this works and how you can start adding things and changing things so you can start, coming up with ideas about how you want to create your own metaverse. Go ahead and open up the code in whatever text editor you use. I'm just using Sublime Text because that's my preference. You can use whatever text editor you'd like. And let's take a quick tour of the project. So, we've got the package.json file, which includes all our dependencies. All right. So we are using Three.js in this video. Okay. But we're actually using a React version of it. Okay. Something called React Tree that builds on Three.js and has some special modules. It's going to make this nice and easy. So we'll look at that documentation here in a minute, but you can go to source, app.js, and you can see that we're doing this all inside of React. So if you're brand new around here, what is React? Well, basically, it's a framework for writing JavaScript applications. All right. They can run in your browser. That's the primary way that React is used. There's also ways to do it with mobile applications. You can do it with VR, all this type of stuff, right? But we're just going to do everything in your browser, and with React as a web app. So, we're using React here, all right, to lay out all the components on the page. We're going to go through this one by one. But you can see that you pulled in this, React 3, library here that contains Three.js. So here's all the documentation for the modules, or a list of the modules, I should say, that's contained, with Three.js, with React 3, which is built on Three.js. Okay, you can see this here. We've got React 3 Fiber. You're going to see how this works here in a minute. It's a React renderer for Three.js. Let's see here. Dre, I hope I'm saying that right. Basically, these are helpers that we can use to make things easy with React 3 to create Three.js renderings inside of the application. We use both of these in this tutorial. See it. You can also check out the Three.js documentation itself for more specifics on how you can customize each of these things, like the box geometry, You're going to see all that in this tutorial about how we can customize these shapes, like you see here inside the sample application. Okay. And so you can look at the Three.js.org documentation for everything that we're talking about in this video, even like the quick getting started guide, stuff like that. Some of this will change because we're doing it inside React. So that's what you want to look back at the React 3 specific documentation for. All right, so let's actually take a look inside of here at how this works. So basically, at the top of our app.js file, we pulled in all our dependencies. We've got stuff that we want to use straight from React, like suspense and use state. We pull in the texture loader from 3. All right, we've got the canvas use loader from React 3 Fiber, and then also these other things we're pulling in here from React 3 Dre. Again, I hope I'm saying that right. So some assets that we've custom imported, which we'll see here in a minute. So without, belaboring all the boilerplate setup stuff, let's just go down to the main function, which is the application. Again, we're right, this is a functional React component. So this is the main function that's going to run whenever our app runs. So everything inside of here is just JavaScript that tells it to put each of these components on the page. All right. So the first thing I want to start off with is the canvas, because this is going to be the main thing that you see inside the background of this application. So really, if you go to your app, it's everything, in this background here that spans the entire page. Because the whole idea for a 3D immersive experience is you want to create a canvas that, creates an ambiance and an environment where you can see all this stuff. Okay, so the canvas is basically going to be this sky that you see, and then we add this star texture on top of it. So we can see how this changes. So we could basically, if I refresh the page, you can change the properties on this. You can change the starting position. So let's change, this last value here from 30 to 100. Okay. And then we'll go here and then, refresh the page. You'll see you start up farther away. Okay. But if you go back to 30, all right, refresh the page, you'll see that, you're booted up a lot closer. Okay. So, those are some ideas of what you can do. You can change this to 10. All right. And you can see that the orientation has changed. Okay. So we're not just looking straight up down. You could, change to 50. Oops. And then you can see that you're on more of a horizontal plane here, right? And you can zoom in. Okay. So you could do this and then change this to these values here, 10, 10, and 5, and refresh. And you can see that, you're starting when you load the page, right inside this virtual world. Okay. So you're not just looking at it from the top, as a user, you see, you can already tell, you're just right inside of it. Okay. So those are some quick settings you can do to change, just how it loads up. All right. At the very top. So let's revert those so that we're not messing anything up. Refresh the page, and we are back to where we started from. All right, so next, let's look at some other properties that we can customize. So that's how the canvas works, okay? Suspense is just something that we use with React to help loading the canvas, all right? So you don't have to worry too much about customizing that. But the next thing we can look at is actually the sky. Okay, so we have the canvas, which is the entire thing that, we see, but you can actually add this sky over it. Okay, that's where the stars are located. So we can do stuff like this. Well, the stars are actually in the stars layer, but they're on top of the sky. So we could actually make it nighttime. So we're going to take the sun position. We're going to set it to 0. All right. So you can actually see now that it's nighttime. Okay. So this is if you want to experience the metaverse at night, that's how it would work. So you could also do cool stuff inside of here. You could determine the time of day. You could actually fetch what the user's time zone is in their browser and display the sky position based on that. So if I'm loading this website up and it's nighttime for me and the sun's down, you could look at the sunrise, sunset times and actually write custom code to automatically update that inside the metaverse based on where the user is located. Okay. So that's a pretty cool feature of this library as well. So you can, change the sun position and totally change the experience for the user. So the next thing is going to be the stars. So that's the texture on top of the sky. All right, you can set the star radius to 0, I believe. I think that's going to remove the stars. Or no, it's actually going to make it bigger. It's kind of cool, actually. It looks like snow or something like that. So that's not going to work. But you could just comment it out or just take it out directly. So you could just do comments like this. And then, boom, you don't have any stars anymore. It's just a blank texture. Okay, but I like putting it in there. So we're just going to do that. All right, you could change the number of stars. Let's just say 5. That's not gonna really do much, but anyways, you can play around with those settings and see, how the stars would look for your application. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about are actually objects inside of here, because we've covered, basically the background, how you move around inside this metaverse. But now what about these objects? Because this is, the objects inside of here and also this plane are what you want to do to create your worlds. You want a foundation for your users to interact and move around in. I'm going to show you how to create this. We actually made this custom plane from scratch. I'll show you that here in a minute. But then you want to have things that they can interact with. Like, so what if you wanted to, have something where users could connect their wallet and then interact with something in mint an NFT, or they want to click on something and then have actual interactivity where it changes. Maybe they play a game or to get an NFT. Let's go through those things. So the first thing is the box, okay, the sphere, the cylinder, and then the plane. So we've created these up here, all right? See the box first. You can actually see how the boxes are created with a Three.js documentation here. All right, so go to Three.js, and you can see the box geometry. This is what you can do. So it's just a class for rectangular cuboid with a given width and height and depth, so you can just create whatever size you want to. Customize the color, all the locations, stuff like that. Here's all the available properties for the box. You can see the documentation. But we just added it here with the position. So changing the position will change where it exists in the space. So you can see that. Let's go back to the application and then change this to 15. And you can see that's higher. Okay, so that's the height position. All right. So it's in the very center. And then this is the... So this is the orientation for the height. So you could change this to 10 or 19, whatever. And then now you'll see it's kind of off the plane. All right. So that's how you move things around inside these three-dimensional spaces with these coordinates. You can mess with the coordinates and see how they work. So next we can look at a sphere. All right. So there's lots of shapes you can do. We got the sphere here as well. All right. Same thing. You can check out the Three.js documentation for all the properties that spheres take. But you can change the position as well. We can make it up high. All right. And then you can see that it's way up there. I have a little trouble even moving around my browser. But yeah, you can see that it's way above the other shapes as well. All right. Let's revert that. I'll make sure I didn't mess anything up. Yeah, all there. Okay, so the last thing I'm talking about, not the last thing, but the last thing as far as the shapes go, are how to actually add interactivity. Because when we go to this, cylinder here, we can click it and it's actually changing colors. Now, it's a pretty simple interaction to have, but it's going to show you the fundamentals on what you could do and give you some ideas on how you could, extend this, all right? So, with the cylinder, we've created this function right here, okay, that actually, creates a cylinder just like it did with the sphere and the box with the Three.js documentation. You can see all the cylinder properties here, but we actually added a dynamic color to the sphere with this color property, okay? And we added this click handler, so that whenever you click it, it changes the colors. So what do we do there? Basically, we just use a click handler. So whenever we render this out to the page, we do this on click, which is available in React. So whenever you click it, it calls this function. So click handler is a function it calls. We create this click handler function from scratch, and it just says, if is red, then set the state to false. If is red is if it's not, then set the state to is red true. So we're just using the React state, which is basically React's front end database. Basically, this is a very simple way of explaining it. That stores information inside your browser. So that comes out of the box with React. And we use state from React to fetch the current state from the React database, essentially, or the React state that determines whether it's red. And so basically, it'll tell you if it's red, if it's not red with these variables, all right, from the state. And if it is red, we'll make it not red. And if it is red, we'll make it, red. So, and then based on that, we have this ternary operator here that says if it's red, set the color to the HTML code for red. If it's not red, set it to this other color here. All right. So you can see that on the page, like we saw a second ago. Sorry. All right. Boom. So that's really simple just to change colors, but you could wire this up to a blockchain with Metaverse application to where, what if you want them on click to like mint an NFT or something like that? Okay, you could load up their MetaMask wallet, have them click on something, and then they could get, NFT if they claimed some sort of thing. Like maybe it's a Metaverse land and they want to buy a plot. Well, you click on the plot of land and then they sign the transaction with MetaMask. And this is the part where you'd put it on the blockchain and then withdraw it to their wallet. And you can see that particular NFT, they can hold in their wallet and take it outside of this particular Metaverse. All right, so the last major thing I want to talk about in this demonstration is how to actually create custom things yourself from scratch. Because if you're going to create a Metaverse, you gotta import a lot of stuff, right? And you gotta come up with a lot of stuff. It's cool to have these components out of the box, like these shapes that you can get from Three.js, and how to customize those. But if you want to create a Metaverse, you need to create, land, you need to create buildings or, whatever it is, right? So how do you do that? Well, we've started that with this process, with this plane here. So you can see like the floor that we're operating on. Okay. This is something that doesn't come out of the box with Three.js. We actually created this from scratch so that you can make this grass, you can make it bricks, whatever it is. By importing your own textures, okay? And maybe you extend this to create, three-dimensional shapes, buildings, whatever it is, okay? So I'll show you how we did it. So we created this mesh out of just a free image online, okay? So basically, we just got on, Pixabay. So you can go look at pixabay.com as free, royalty-free images, and we just search for like metal texture. All right, you could do this with grass, whatever it is. You look up grass texture, it doesn't matter. Just took one of these, all right, and we downloaded it, and then we popped in this website, Normal Map Online. Okay, it's where you upload it, and then you generate an actual map that's going to go back into the project. So when you create your own stuff, you need an image in the project, and you also need a map. So you can see that here on the side, source assets. You can see this metal map. All right. And then also, a metal normal map. Okay. Like this. So the metal map and normal map, that's going to be generated from this, normal map online, generator here. So get the image, generate the map, download it, put it in your project here. And whenever you've done that, you can, import them from your assets directory. Okay. At the top, just like this, import assets, right? Metal map, metal normal map right here. And then you can create your own custom components like this. So basically, we use this mesh and we added the position. Then we add this, okay, with the arguments for 25, 25 for the size. And then basically we have this mesh standard material, and we actually add the map from our import, okay, and then the metal normal map, and the metalness is 0.5. It's just a property that we chose. So you can use this loader. All right, this loader is from React, but we can use this texture loader, okay, which you can see up here. All right, texture loader from 3. And then we just pop in the metal normal map and the metal map, and then save those to the variables, and that's how we pop them in here. So you could generate whatever you want with this as long as you go through those steps. And you can, of course, get way more sophisticated than this, but that's an overview of how you can essentially do that just to get started. All right, so that's an overview on how to start creating your own metaverse with Three.js and React.js, okay? So again, this is just an introduction to show you the fundamentals. We've got a much longer tutorial, a full comprehensive tutorial on how to actually code an entire metaverse with blockchain side of things. Again, this is just the experience layer for a 3D immersive experience. I mean, you could extend this to see how you could do this with virtual reality. You could look up AR.js if you want to start playing around with AR as well, to like maybe view your NFTs inside your house or something like that. But this should get the wheels turning and whet your appetite for what's to come. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, smash that like button. That really helps these videos out. So the more people learn about blockchain, you'll find out about more videos like this. Because this space is changing so fast, and we want to bring you the best educational content so that you can keep up to date with this trend. So if you want to learn more about blockchain, blockchain, you can go to my YouTube homepage. You can find my free courses there. They're like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. And if you like those and you want to take the next step, or hey, maybe you want to take a master's shortcut entirely, I should become a blockchain master step-by-step start to finish over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. You have to be an expert to get started today. I've helped people with zero coding experience become real-world blockchain developers in a matter of months. So that's all I've got. Until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.